Hello and welcome to another yearbook tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to make shapes, change the color, how to use the eyedropper tools, and how to change opacity. So if you open up your yearbook spread, I already have mine open. This is really a bad example of a page because it's really busy, but it's gonna help you see what you can do with shapes. So when you want to make a shape, you go to your panel right here on which you can make text and your placeholders. And your shape tool is either going to be a rectangle or one of these, an ellipses or a polygon. The way you see more options is you control click and it gives you more options. So right now we want to do it rectangle. So you click on that and you just click and drag and that's your rectangle right there. Of course, if you want to change the shape's color, you go up here to this box, double click, and it gives you a bunch of different options if you drag this tool and this tool right here. So let's say we want a pink box, like right there. Of course, there's a frame around that box right now that I don't want, so the way I can get rid of that line is I click 0 points, or I could change the thickness of the line by selecting different points. I don't want that line right now, so I'm going to click 0. Of course, if you do want that line and you want to change the color, that option is underneath the area color box. So you click right here. It's the same principle. There you go. Now you have a yellow frame, but we don't want that frame right now. So now that you have your shape, sometimes it's helpful to change the opacity or how translucent the color in the shape is. The way you do that is you click here on this little option where it says 100%. You click on this little box and you can drag this to reduce the opacity like that. See, that could be really helpful when you have busy backgrounds. So another really helpful thing is edges. In rectangles you might want to have really sharp edges. Sometimes you want to have rounded edges. The options are up here, right here, and it gives you a couple different options. It gives you a fancy option like that, or it gives you a bunch of options. We don't want a fancy edge, so we're just gonna put none. Of course, if you don't want a rectangle, again, you can come here, click Control click and change whatever you need to change. You can also, if you want the shape to have a color the same, if you want a shape to have a color that's another element in your spread does, then you can click on the eyedropper tool, or you can just press I on your keyboard and it comes right up. And you press anywhere where you want that. You can press anywhere, and really that color that you pressed will turn up. So let's say white. So now that white is selected, and it changes the color of my shape right away. So we don't want that. We want Apple Z. So that's how you change shapes. Of course, there are a couple of different things you can do with this. You could do effects. So the way you change your effects is you click on the FX right up here. It gives you a bunch of different options. So you can just click on whatever option you want. I'm going to click on drop shadow. This box comes up and it gives you the options you saw right up there are here too. So drop shadow, that basically is really self-explanatory. It gives you a shadow. You can change the color of the shadows right up here. So you see I have a yellow shadow now. The mode, it gives you a couple different modes, but you really want to just stick to normal most of the time, and just gives you a normal yellow shadow. You can change the angle of the shadow by dragging and this box around. You can change the distance, the size, and again the opacity by dragging this tool right up here. There's other options that you can use if you don't want to drop shadow. You can use an inner shadow, which is the same thing except it's inside the shape, an outer glow, inner glow. Basically all of these options give you different effects you can use. This is really not limited to shapes. You can use these on titles as well. As you can see, I have a drop shadow here on my title. Yeah, the titles, you could also change the lines by by changing the point again. You can see I have a yellow outline of everything, which I really don't want right now, but that's also an option where you can change the entire square of the text. Sometimes when you're going to want to import photographs, you're going to want a background to them, like right here in these photos I have right there. And that's really simple to do. You just make your shape, change the opacity, whatever color you want. You put a placeholder on top of that shape, which explains, and placeholders are explained in a different tutorial, but you put a placeholder and you just drag that photo in, and you have a frame for that photo. So that's pretty much how